Hello, professional automotive service providers. Thanks so much for joining me on this course on essentials for pre-service and offering preventative maintenance. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the course. So, how important is this? And how important is it to your customers that you accurately get their information? Some of the simple, basic things, of course, that we're doing with respect to when we first meet them and we've wowed them with that professional greeting and we've been friendly with them and we've remembered them and we've welcomed them into your shop. Now, once you've gotten that part of it, it's important to really make sure that we're gathering the information correctly from them and really confirm the best way for their contact information. How do they want to be contacted? I've heard over the years many times, oh, I can't get a hold of Joe, or I always call this guy back, or I'm texting, or I'm emailing them, and they're not getting back to me. It's interesting, that many people in this advanced technology now of the world that we live in, people still kind of adapt to different things and different ways of communicating. So ask them, do they prefer to be text? Do they prefer email? Or do they prefer a phone call when you're following up with them? There's nothing more frustrating in a lot of cases that when you're trying to get in touch with a customer and you don't have, you can't contact them, you can't get in touch with them, and you just can't locate them. So really ask that, clarify that up front. Really important, small thing. It's also really important also to making sure, of course, that we have their phone numbers, their emails, and update any of their information and that contact information again, that it's correct, so that when you're doing that, and what's the best way then, Sam, that would you like me to call you or phone you or text you, or email you? And that simple little thing can go a long way to build that relationship and develop rapport. They might tell you, I'm a nurse and she works on a night shift, and so she's hard to get a hold of, so text is the best. Oh, you're a nurse, so what hospital? And whatever it might be, or works in a practice for just a GP or whatever it might be. Just that rapport building again. Small little things can happen just when you're even gathering this first initial information from them. Essentials of the pre-service, very critical steps in a lot of cases, because if we miss certain things or certain components to this process and to these steps, it can really slow down the repair process. It can slow down the communications between yourself and the technicians in the back that are working on the vehicle, just as to what's going on, what's happening with the vehicle. And it's really important at this time also to making sure that as we're gathering all the information as to why they're there, essentially, number one is to making sure that we're in the pre-service process offering preventative maintenance. So what are some of the things that we can do for them? Well, it's important to really consider and ask yourself, am I slowing the pre-service process down to talk to them about the previous work that's been done on the vehicle, the previous inspections? Are you looking at that information? Are you looking at any work that's maybe been postponed from the previous visit? Maybe they were getting their brakes done last time, and they were thinking about maybe just as the maintenance coming up on the time frame to replace the battery, to do that because it's 4 years old, and they're looking at maintenance to replace the battery before something happens, or they have a no start or whatever it might be. So making sure that we're talking to them about the previous repairs that were done. And then I believe that there's nothing better. I have a hard time being in this industry for a long time, really understanding any other industries that have such a powerful tool to be able to have the OEMs behind you, the original equipment manufacturers of Ford, GM, or the Nissan, saying and stating from the data manufacturer, these are the service intervals that are required on the vehicle. And so right at the counter, right when you're talking to them and when you're coming in on the pre-service process, rather than just checking the mileage and getting it back there and doing an inspection and say, it's time for a water, a coolant flush, or the timing belt. Really look at it and check the service intervals as to what's expected by the manufacturer and make those recommendations. Really, the customers do expect you to ask, and a lot of your competitors, if you're looking at dealerships, of course, they do it on a consistent basis pretty much every time, because they're getting a lot of that repeat business on the maintenance business, and certainly not giving the dealerships credit by any means. Independent facilities, professional service providers like yourself are doing it as well, but it's a matter of continually doing it consistently to just put it to the manufacturer. This is solely what the manufacturer is recommending, and I'm just advising you that these services are required at this time. Really, what are the benefits? What are the benefits of offering the preventative maintenance to the customer, and what are the benefits really to you, and what are the whys behind it? Why should we do it? Now, a lot of people really like to think of the SWIFT acronym, and they may not know it and know what that stands for, but the SWIFT acronym really stands for, so what's in it for me? So if you look at it for what's in it for me, and you find that there's enough value in this to do it, if you're a service advisor, service manager, or you're an owner in a repair facility as well, and you're professional and you have a lot of customers keep coming back, what the real whys are is you're going to create great best practices within your repair facility that are going to start to become habit. And you're going to get more repeat business coming back as well. And through this habit of just continuing to ask people are going to, you're training your customers really on the why, that they come back and what they can expect with their future visits. You're going to be really more satisfied. You're going to have more satisfied customers for sure, because they really rely, for years they've been saying, gain trust with your customers. Well, really that part of that trust is not just only that you're taking care of them fairly and you're doing quality repairs, but the trust is also that, they're putting your vehicle in the hands of you to making sure that you are hopefully going to avoid some breakdowns or things that could possibly happen. And offering that maintenance will certainly be a huge benefit for your shop as well as for your customers as well. The one thing that you're trying to do in many cases in your life, of course, not only in your business, but in your personal life, is reduce stress. So you want the business to be healthy. When everyone's running a healthier business profitably and managing their business better and more repeat customers, everybody's happier. It's a better working environment, better communications between the technicians, as well as the service advisors, service managers, and owners as well. If everyone can get on the same page with the belief on this, to really making sure that you're offering that preventative maintenance. We don't want to just rely on being a breakdown shop and only see them when they need their vehicle repaired, because at the end of the day, that won't be sustainable long business. So the why is they will end up somewhere else potentially. We run the risk of losing them somewhere else if we're not continuing that relationship. That's the advantages of the professional automotive service provider, you. And the second part of it is, of course, the customer. It improves that relationship. It has less breakdowns, really. If you're maintaining the vehicle, and they are sticking to a repair maintenance schedule that's helping them, the lifeline of their vehicle, and taking care of it, we know that there will be less breakdowns. Also, there will be less costs, because if they are budgeting, managing for it, you can explain this to your customers that, and if, like anything, if it's a mechanical component, if it breaks, there's usually more pieces, more things, more involvement, they let the brakes go too long. It's going to be a much larger repair in the long run, or, certainly transmission flushes or anything like that, it's, it's not going to certainly solve every problem by the maintenance, but it will certainly mitigate or reduce the cost to the customer. So it needs to be explained that, yes, although it's for this coolant flush, it's X number of dollars, or for this transmission flush, it's X number of dollars. But here's the real benefit to it. I think people need to understand and have you slow down and explain this why to them, so that they can really see the value in getting that work done. And they're, like I say, they're really going to be able to budget their repairs better as well. And of course, safety. Safety is really critical to making sure that the vehicle is well maintained, and that's on us as well as service providers, to making sure that you are doing those inspections thoroughly and providing the proper advice when needed. So consistently offer these different services that the OEMs are recommending. So a good idea to do it is to have menu boards up of even the flushes, the different maintenance that's required, and then get in the habit of using your systems to be able to quickly pull it up on a Ford F-150, look at what all the service intervals are on those vehicles, and really do your homework to, and have your systems in place that you can check the intervals of whatever Nissan Sentra they might be asking for, those service intervals, and get that information readily at your fingertips. And it's there for you as well. So work with your providers on really making sure that you're getting that information dialed in for your shop, so that you can continue to ask the customers while they're there to if they would like that work done as well. Norm, thanks for looking after my vehicle today. I just need some new wiper blades. I know I have a light at the back out. I was pulling to the right a little bit, or I've got some vibration on the vehicle. Can you check all that out? Oh, great. Yeah, we're happy to do all that. We'll get that looked after for you. You've got all your pre-service work done. And then, by the way, I'm just looking at your service intervals right now, and it looks like you're due for a coolant flush based on the recommendations of what, Nissan's saying, or Ford, or whatever vehicle that you're working on. And just ask that. You're not being pushy. You're not being anything other than what it says probably on your card, is you're an advisor, or you're a service manager, or you're an owner. Is that you are really just merely advising them, because otherwise they wouldn't certainly know. So the other thing is when you've actually got them to approve the work order, approve the maintenance, which you're going to get, and then the more that you ask and the more that it's consistent, the more you're going to get a lot more of that business coming to you, because they need it, they want it, and you can't prejudge people on the year of the vehicle, or the amount of money that you think that they may want to spend or have, or any of those things. You just merely offer it consistently to everyone. So then once you are proceeding to do the repair, make sure as well that what we're doing is offering, the delivery time. And what I like to say is over service and under promise. So if you think that the vehicle is going to be ready by 2 o'clock, if you say, oh, well, we'll have it ready by 2 o'clock, day to day, we get pressed sometimes to not be able to meet those deadlines. So give yourself a little bit of a buffer. Why not say 3:30? And then if it's done by 2, you call it 2 o'clock. You've now all of a sudden become a hero. It's a great way to do it. So get that authorization for the repair, have them sign it, have them approve it, and thank them for the opportunity as well. And so now we've done a great job. We've done a pre-service. We've diagnosed, there's some areas to offer for preventative maintenance. Not necessarily diagnosed, but really identified that there's some areas. We've certainly identified the areas that are required for repair for them as well. And then from there, what you have is a pre-service checklist of an 8-list checklist that you can work to. You can use this. You can print this off. You can work with this. We can certainly provide this to you in a download for you in this course also. And use this as a reference guide to become a consistent pattern to work with and to work to every day. So number one, gather and update the customer's information effectively. Don't rush this process. It's important. Make sure you get the information accurate. Repeat back emails, phone numbers, addresses, just confirming that you got the details right the first time, of course. Confirm their information is correct. And then as well, make any changes right on the spot for them. Make sure that your records, the records of the customer's preferred contact means is in the computer as well. So you don't have to ask them every time, oh, I see your last visit, you said you just prefer to be text. So make sure that you say, we'll make sure we text you, we'll send some information, or we'll call you, or we'll text you first to make sure that, have you call us if there's any questions or we have to have a conversation. If you can call us, that would be great. But we'll prefer, as to what you've said in the past, to text you. And then also make those recommendations, of course, for the preventative maintenance that's required, and then authorizing them so that they clearly understand how you're going to proceed, what the repair time will be, and making sure that you thank them as well. So isn't that a great, simple little 8-step process that you can look at and that you can work with and get everyone within your shop consistently following this process? Because far too many times we see a lot of the times these steps skipped, and then that slows productivity down, slows down efficiency, and plus it can frustrate a customer as well if some of these things are not addressed in the pre-service process. So we've got it all covered for you in the sense that this pre-service process steps are going to be able to be implemented today. You're probably doing a lot of these now, but really getting them into let's say a standard operation procedure or into agreed upon steps. So now what you'll do is you're going to proceed to a quiz, a short quiz that'll allow you just to kind of walk through and answer some questions based on this course and this short video that you've been able to see today, and answer some of the quiz questions in there all the way through thoroughly to the end. And then you'll be able to do, what's most important, is really a self-evaluation on some of these processes that were shared in this course, and also looking at the evaluation on how you can identify areas that you're doing well and certainly what you can improve upon. And then you will proceed to the goal setting exercise. So thank you so much for taking this course, and here's to your continued success. Thank you.